Forced away on the offside. There was no mid-off. And the ball slowing down, but having just that little bit to carry over the boundary. Mahanama off the mark. And a pretty confident way at that in doing so. Made some very important and good scores at this grounds. Red shoes from the pavilion end. Hathurusinghe edging it, and that was the first ball Hathurusinghe faced, and Kalinen, of all fielders, dropping that one. Absolute sitter. Chantika Hathurusinghe needs a big score very badly to boost his confidence. Donald in. That's a good delivery. A lot of movement. Donald certainly not at his fastest today. Schulz in. Mahanama edging it, and again Kalinen at third slip, but that was certainly a better effort. And Schulz would not be happy about this. Both openers edging to Kalinen on 2 occasions, and both times the bowler has to suffer. Honourable Tyrone Fernando with Krish Macadish, the president of the United Cricket Board of South Africa. Schulz in. Mahanama going for a shot that didn't give him the desired results, and that's an important breakthrough by South Africa. 22 minutes into the second test, Mahanama the batsman out, and a pretty straightforward catch in the end by Richardson. Really digging it in, the ball coming in to Mahanama. He had shuffled too far, just edging it on its way to the wicketkeeper. Hashan Tilakaratne, promoted in the batting order, made his highest score at this venue. Schulz. Oh, he played it between third slip and gully. That was safe, but not convincing. He's off the mark. Umpire T.M. Samarsinghe. Edging this one, that ball not very far away from second slip, and Brian McMillan was there. That's his second boundary. He moves on to 8 with that. The total on to 17. Schulz. And wrapped on the pad. Hathurusinghe not all that comfortable, that ball keeping low. After getting that first wicket, Schulz all fired up. That ball may have pitched outside leg stump. Brian McMillan digging it in, and Tilakaratne is in trouble. He's gone. Comfortably taken by Cronje at mid-wicket. And Hashan Tilakaratne, just after 37 minutes of batting, and adding 20 runs for the second wicket. Not the customary Hashan Tilakaratne. Didn't have a good look at McMillan. And that ball not all that comfortable to be pulled around, although there was no feed deep at mid-wicket. Cronje delighted. Digging it in, dropped it quite short, and a little bit of top edge did the damage for Tilakaratne. Aravind De Silva, new batsman. And he really needs a very big innings. Sri Lanka will be looking up to him for that. Macmillan. And dropping it short to Aravinda De Silva is asking for a lot of trouble, and he's off the mark. Fine stroke, controlled it well, hit it well, middle of the bat, and this fast outfield did the rest. This time Macmillan over pitching, and De Silva going past mid-off, beats Cronje to the boundary. Macmillan bowls, and that's the drive that got that boundary. Really an over-pitch delivery, deserved to be hit for a boundary. Snell. No ball, and probably he heard the call, but nevertheless the ball was short. Aravinda De Silva dispatching it comfortably through mid-wicket. Brian Aldridge, the neutral umpire. Hudson taking evasive cover. Macmillan. Again, strain down leg side. That's a good strike through fine leg. And Hadru Singh on to 16. The 50 runs coming up in 92 minutes of batting. Schulz dropping it short and hammered away through cover. That will reach the boundary. Aravinda De Silva very firm in dealing with the short deliveries. Perfectly into position. Schulz. Set off for a quick run. Oh, that was a good effort from Jonty Rhodes. He had to come a long way from cover point. See where he ended up. Just dropping it short on the offside. Aravinda De Silva late starting and very close indeed. Patchin Cox. Taken on the full. And where did it end up? Oh, Macmillan is fielding at Silimidov. He's a strong man, but he may have been in a little bit of discomfort. Not very easy. Coming well out of his crease. Taking it on the full. Oh, that should have been painful. No doubt. So this is a good partnership and approaching lunch on the first day. Schulz in. Oh, he's in trouble. He's gone. 55 minutes of batting and Aravinda De Silva is out. The partnership coming up in 55 minutes, and that really was a big blow. On the stroke of lunch. Batted well, hit 6 boundaries. But again, this moving delivery proving disastrous for Aravinda De Silva. So in the first session, 72 runs coming up in 2 hours of batting. Hadru Singh has survived 2 chances. And Schulz really doing the damage, but Macmillan almost gifted with a wicket by Tilakaratne. So 5 bowlers used by Kepler Wessels in the first session. Donald not impressing much. And immediately after lunch, the Sri Lankan captain coming up. He was the top scorer in the test at the Tyrone Fernando Stadium. Schulz into him. He had one delivery remaining in this over. And the first ball to the Sri Lankan captain, worked away on the onside and just crossing the boundary. The ball won the race on that occasion, and Ranatunga off the mark. Schulz to Ranatunga. And that's very firmly hit. Well up to him. 4 more runs. So 2 deliveries, 2 boundaries to Ranatunga. He's on 8. He really moved into that one. Again, he may have played it through offside, but decided to play it through mid-on. Successful. Snell in. Oh, he played it obviously and well taken. That's Kallinan. And he must be happy after the 2 dropped chances, and what a way for the Sri Lankan captain to go. He has reason to be annoyed with himself. Very quickly into double figures. In fact, in quarter of an hour's batting, but really not right on top. He moved a lot, shuffling. He may have gone between the bowler and mid-off or on the offside. Instead, tried to get that one over mid-on, but a simple catch to Kallinan. But he went up well at the right moment, and the catch made to look so easy. A few yards away from that, it could have fetched him a boundary. It was not to be, and Sanath Jayasuriya, the new batsman, really has not impressed as a test batsman, and few people were present on the first day. Snell over pitching, and Jayasuriya just loves to go through with anything that is pitched up to him. A good boundary. Snell dropping it short, and this time Hathurusingha square cuts. A very firm stroke, a good one. That's the 100 up for Sri Lanka in 155 minutes of batting. Quite a short delivery, and Hathurusingha loves to play the square cut. Got it right on that occasion, behind point. Donald to Hathurusingha. Plays it upishly. Oh, that's a drop chance, but a good effort by Andrew Hudson. And South Africa has surprised most of the spectators by dropping so many catches, but certainly could have been a brilliant catch had he held on to that one. Hudson couldn't. Donald over pitching to Jayasuriya, going for the slash. Got it well. And anything up to Jayasuriya, he loves to bang it around. Donald edging it, but straight to a fielder. Brian Macmillan has it, and Chandika Hathurusingha is out. That was another good wicket. Batted just under 3 hours. Survived 2 chances, but really couldn't make good use out of it. Playing away from his body, not in control, and a pretty straightforward catch by Macmillan. Donald's first wicket looked a lot more penetrative in the second spell. Little bit awkward in holding on to that catch, but successful. Pubudu Dasanayaka, the new batsman, the wicket keeper. Alan Donald into him. Oh, the fielders go up, and he's gone. No mistakes that time. And out without scoring. Pabudhu Dasanayaka wouldn't like it. Sri Lanka in deep trouble at 119 for 6. This is it. Away from his body as he played it. And he waited for the umpire's decision. And Kumar Dharmasena is playing his first test match. Hesitant start, but he's on his way in test cricket. That's his first test run. Macmillan. Full toss. Oh, he hit it very firmly on the offside. That should reach the boundary. And a gifted boundary, I should think, to Jayasuriya. He moves up to 27 with that. Really no difficulty in finding the gap on that occasion. Schulz. Very firmly played, as that was dropped short, and these two met each other in South Africa when Sri Lanka toured them under 24 side, and Jayasuriya was the captain on that occasion. Snell over pitching, and Jayasuriya finding the gap once more through cover. Fine stroke brings him another good boundary, his 7th, and he moves up to 43 with that. Schulz. Oh, he played right across that, squared it up, and Dharmasena is gone. Fine delivery from Brett Schulz. Really had no answer. Open chested as he played that. The ball angled towards the slip. Very good delivery by Brett Schulz. Richardson having another enjoyable and successful day. Chapaka Ramanayaka comes in. One of 3 changes into the side. Schulz. Bowled him. Oh, that's a fine delivery, and Jayasuriya obviously showing a weakness in playing that type of delivery, and on the stroke of tea, Jayasuriya is out, and Sri Lanka 147 for 8, losing 5 wickets in the second session and adding only 75 runs. Fine strike from Brett Schulz, and 2 important breakthroughs on the stroke of lunch and tea. The 2 batsmen to go, Aravinda De Silva and Sanath Jayasuriya. Pramod Wickramasinghe, the new batsman, and Snell into him. Full toss, worked away through mid-on, past Simcox. He won't get to it. Good looking shot, and the 150 coming up in 245 minutes of batting. Wickramasinghe on to 5. Snell dropping it short, and Wickramasinghe really launching himself on that occasion. 4 runs. He would take a chance. Certainly did so on that occasion. And the 2 opening bowlers for Sri Lanka, anything is possible. Schulz. Ramanayaka wrapped on the pad. Pretty confident appeal. That may have missed the stumps. Maybe too high. But here's Schulz once more. Again, that was even closer. Again, not in favor of the bowler. Well, he was justified in asking that question. Schulz in once more. Vikram Singh bowled him. Very good ball indeed. And Vikram Singh at the middle for half an hour had 3 hits to the ropes. But this particular delivery, missing his edge, but not the off stump. Well bowled. Muthaya Muralidharan, the last man in. Snell into him. Plays it uppishly and brilliantly taken there at cover point by Jonty Rhodes. What a catch. And Sri Lanka all out for 168. And Muralidharan himself, a fine fielder, would have been proud of that effort. Trying to square drive, hit it uppishly, and Rhodes, a brilliant effort. Anything close to him, you're asking for a lot of trouble. There it was. Except for Jayasuriya, who made the top score, none of the other batsmen looked confident, including Aravinda De Silva and Chandrika Hathurusinha, joint second highest score, but both of them given lives. But Ranatunga and Tilakaratne, I thought, threw away their wickets, and after Mahanama was out, it was always going to be a big struggle. And the South Africans only conceding 4 extras, they bowled extremely well. And Brett Schulz, 5 wickets for 48, improving on his 4-wicket haul at the Tyrone Fernandes Stadium. The first time he's done so in a test match and playing in only his 4th game. Donald and Snell giving very good support. Macmillan just 1, and Simcox, the spinner, only 2 overs. Kepler Wessels will be looking for a good total. His highest score for Australia was made in 1983-84. Pretty experienced batsman. And Hudson, the regular openers for South Africa, made his top score on his test debut at Barbados and made a fine 90 in the last game. Vikram Singh in. Down the leg side, and that's through fine leg for 4 runs. But we'll really have to wait and see whether he did get a bat. Oh yes. And possible chance, but Dasanayaka is still playing only his 2nd game. Ramanayaka played uppishly, well short of Pramod Vikram Singh, but that ball travelled quickly and low to mid-on. This is it. Trying to play it uppishly and short of Vikram Singh, though he did attempt on that occasion. Vikram Singh forced away through 3rd slip and gully. Unprotected 3rd man boundary, 4 runs. So the runs are coming, and that's important. Sri Lanka doesn't have that much. Here's the first bowling change, Hathurusinha. And Wessels off drives handsomely, pitched up to him, and he timed it well. 4 runs in front of the dressing rooms. Coming out in a good follow-through, Kumar Dharamsena. And Hathurusinha driving full length. Sri Lankans thought they had the South African captain on that occasion. Certainly not the umpire. Off the pad. Muthaya Muralidharan. Oh, that was A chance or what? Ashan Tilakaratne certainly is the fielder. But that was close. Well, he was trying to take evasive action. Oh, that's a tragedy for Sri Lanka. And even if he collected it whilst it was on the ground, he could have had Wessels, who was well out of his crease. And the two batsmen accepted the light, which was offered around 5:30 with 3 overs still to be bowled. Both not out on 19, batted very well. Vikram Singh was impressive in the first couple of overs, but Muralidharan should have had a wicket late in the day. Although the conditions were good for batting, once the quick bowlers settled in, there was a lot of trouble for the Sri Lankans. In the end, it was a weak-kneed batting performance that saw themselves throw away the chance of winning a toss and going to a total that was going to be ahead of 400. Instead, they folded to a total that was far less than half that one. With Kepler Wessels and Andrew Hudson putting South Africa onto a sound start, the good work done by Brett Schulz, Dave Richardson and the simply magnificent Jonty Rhodes had put South Africa in a very strong position at the end of the first day's play. It was going to be a long haul for Sri Lanka for them to be in this match towards the latter stages. We hope you enjoy the highlights. Thank you for joining and good night. Not bowled or caught behind. Very nearly played on to his stumps. Wessels having overtaken Hudson. The Sri Lankan dressing room. Ronnie Gunaratne, Dulip Mendis and Nasanka Gurusingha. Ramanayaka. Full toss. Very well played. No difficulty in dispatching that one. Hudson is a very good driver of the ball. And in the first innings of the first test, the openers put up a century partnership. Well on their way now. Sanath Jayasuriya. Dropped it short and found the gap on the offside. Roshan Mahanama just cutting it off. He had to make an effort not to cross over the boundary. Wessels on to 48 with that stroke which brought him 3 runs. Watch Mahanama. Could have taken another step forward. Wessels. Jayasuriya bowls to him and neatly nudged it, made room, running down to the third man boundary. Ramanayaka gives chase, again gets a boot to it, and that will be 3 runs to Kepler Wessels, brings up his half century, and what a good one it is. The 16th test half century for him and the 4th since making his appearance for South Africa. 1 6 and 2 4s. Fine knock from him. The 100 coming up in 187 minutes of batting. The time Wessels took to get to his half century. Good knock. Jayasuriya. Driven on the onside of the wicket. That's a good looking straight drive. Taking Hudson onto the 40s. Here's Aravinda De Silva. Driven on the offside. Fine stroke. Well timed. Hudson on to 46 with that. Again, coming to meet the ball and middling it quite well. Muralidharan. Played and missed down the leg side, and it beat the wicketkeeper too. Hatrusingha won't get to it. So the runs are coming by. That one, he did get a bat. That would have been a chance. Dharmasena. Lofted on the onside. Pitched up to him. That boundary will bring up the half century for Andrew Hudson. Fine shot there. And that's the second time he's gone past the half century mark in successive matches against Sri Lanka. Remember, he made 90 in the first test. And he's really enjoying his stay here. Played extremely well. And whenever he struck it well. And his boundaries, all 8 of them played very well. 123 for no loss, 75 runs added in the first session, and both batsmen having almost a similar number of strikes as balls faced, batting extremely well. The Sri Lankan bowlers had toiled for a long time. Wickramasinghe. That was a better delivery. Beat the outside edge. And the former Sri Lanka captain Michael Tissera on your screen on that occasion. Dharmasena. Varied his pace. Dropped it short. And the chase is on for Hatrusingha. But the boundary is for the South Africans. Just dropping it short, and on this wicket it's suicidal to drop that shot. Hudson saw it early, in position, and although he hit it hard to the ground, he had timed it so well. The cricket board headquarters upstairs. Fine view out from there. Wickramasinghe. Balls to Hudson. Loud shout for LBW. Umpire Aldridge rules the batsman out. So South Africa lose their first wicket with a total at 137. And Hudson batting for just over 4 hours. A good century partnership. And he really made a big difference towards the South African course. Wrapped in front, the ball kept low, and he had to leave the field. Wickramasinghe had worked very hard for that wicket. Hansi Cronje, the new batsman. He would like to get into the runs himself, the South African vice captain, and that's the journalists covering this match. Many known faces out there towards the scoreboard end. Dharmasena over pitching, and Wessels driving on the offside. He timed it well. His outfield quite fast by Samarasinghe signalling the boundary. Dharmasena in his test debut, he'll have to work hard. And Wessels moved into that one well. Hatrusinghe, it was taking evasive action. He had to leave the ground. Wickramasinghe. Spread it on the offside, and although hit uppishly, it was safe. And Aravinda's effort after the ball passed of no use. The 150 coming up in 298 minutes of batting. The ball travelled very quickly, so he timed it well. Dharmasena. Vessels close to his stumps. Very nearly played onto it. Certainly, this was a close call for the South African captain. Very nearly played onto his stumps. And Roshan Mahanama sending his return. The batsman had to hurry. They made it comfortably in the end. Ramanayaka. Full toss, a no ball, and that's very easily dealt with, hammering it through on the offside. Sri Lanka gifting that boundary to the South Africans. Vessels having made almost half those runs and looking a little bit more adventurous and attacking than he did yesterday. Tarun Sena. Oh, that one just short of Roshan Mahanama at slip. Found the edge on that occasion. Cronje. Awkward bounce for the fielder. Well, he has done a fair share of the bowling and been economical but not successful. Muralidharan. That one turned. Very nearly got himself bowled. Given a lot of air. Cronje came right across. Probably intended to glide it through the vacant slip region. Muralidharan. Vessels making room and waiting for the ball to turn. But an excellent stop there by Chantika Hatrusinga. The ball was travelling quickly as again Muralidharan dropped it short and Vessels hammered it around. Hatrusinga was faster. Tarun Sena. Gave a little bit of air. Fine stroke from Hansi Cronje. Moves into double figures with that boundary. That was his second. Muralidharan. Well played on the onside. Good stroke here. Finding the boundary at long on. Arjun Ranatunga having a word with Muthaiya Muralidharan. And big drawback is his inability to strike. And he's gone. That's the wicket Sri Lanka very badly needed. And the South African captain really falling for that delivery. And see the delight of Arjuna Ranatunga. If you can get wickets for the asking at that rate, any captain would be lucky. Batted over 5 hours, held the innings together, but out well within sight of his 7th Test 100. Given a lot of air, ball pitched on off stump, but the vicious turn, he was playing, not really covering up, and off the edge. A good catch in the end by Pubudu Dasanayake. Watch the keeper still down, then he's getting up, and he had moved well, and as it hit the bat, he was in position to collect it. Kalinen, the new batsman, equalled his top score of 46 at the Tyrone Fernandez Stadium in the first test. Pat Simcox and Dave Richardson having a stroll. Jayasuriya. Oh, very nearly bowled Cronje on that occasion. The batsman played for the turn. Very close to his stumps. Wickremesinghe. Well struck on the offside. That was very well played. Playing on the up, but getting the gap through cover. The 200 coming up in 338 minutes of batting. Crowd very small but very appreciative. In the first two sessions, South Africa scored 75 runs in each. Ramanayaka, loud shout. Hansi Cronje playing well forward. Ranatunga didn't appeal. Wickremesinghe. Oh, well played. Very well struck indeed by Hansi Cronje. Opening out now. But Sri Lanka not able to get more than a couple of wickets at this stage. He has a long reach and he somewhat slashed at it but hit it well. Wickremesinghe dropping it short and Kalinen pulling it through. He really hits the ball hard. And on this wicket and outfield as fast as that, asking for a lot of trouble. Ramanayaka. Overpitched and placed it between cover and mid-off. That'll run to the boundary, beating Muralidharan not by that much of a distance though. 37 to Cronje. Fine picture there. Perfect drive. Ranatunga bringing himself on, and this was the 8th bowler tried by the Sri Lankan captain. A totally full toss, and the fielders didn't actually move as that ball sped past them on its way to the cover boundary. And the half-century partnership coming up in 100 minutes. So it's a pretty good one. Hansi Cronje would be very pleased. He's amongst the runs and he's middling the ball. There it is. Stepping out of his crease on that occasion. Dharmasena's inexperience really showing. Dropped it onto his leg stump. Came out of his crease and beautifully played. Picked it up well. Dharmasena over pitching once more. The chase is on for the mid-off. He won't get to it. 250 coming up in 415 minutes of batting. And Kalinen driving through the line. Jayasuriya. Full toss. Easily dispatched. Vacant mid-wicket boundary. Loose delivery. Both batsmen getting onto the 40. Jayasuriya over pitching and Cronje driving on the offside. Fine stroke from him. He moves up to 40. South Africa 101 runs ahead at this stage. Jayasuriya bowls and Cronje just leans on it. Aravinda De Silva gives chase. That's century for Hansi Cronje, and he would be happy. Is his first half century from home in Test match. Did so. He went on to make a century against India home. Turned away on the onside. Cullinan's half century. And the maiden half century in only his test match. Well played. 3 innings again. He's gone past 30. And congratulated there by far away from Tilakaratne. Here's Muralidharan. Forward, front pad. Sit. 82 runs. And South Africa. 32 runs. The 4 batsmen getting into centuries. 2 partnerships. 7 for the batsmen. Slow in their approach. They may have that. Number of extras. Only Hashan did not bowl. But most had bowled. Getting into half centuries, 2 century partnerships, 7 fours each for the batsmen, but they have been slow in their approach. They may have had more runs than that. Sri Lanka conceding number of extras. Only Roshan and Hashan did not bowl, but most of the others had bowled tight, but not with much effect. The only successful bowlers, Vikram Singh and Muralidharan. Dharmasena economical, but not successful himself. 2 century partnerships that put South Africa in a very strong position. If they didn't make 300 runs, they didn't lose too many wickets. With Cronje and Cullinan looking very much better for a big total, the chances of South Africa getting to a healthy first innings lead is going to be of paramount importance for the Sri Lankans. The wicket's still playing good, but Sri Lanka having very few chances of dismissing a side that is having depth in batting. We hope you enjoy the highlights, and good night. It was going to be a decisive one, no doubt about that. South Africa 112 runs on with 8 wickets in hand. The overnight pair had made fine half centuries, and if South Africa was still batting by tea, then the lead would have been quite a threatening one on Sri Lanka during their second innings. This wicket still good for runs, at least during the first 2 sessions. South Africa's only hope was that Muralidharan would not strike, because he had quite a good strike rate at the SSC. We pick up play in the first over with Kumar Dharmasena into Hansi Cronje. Fast slip there, and he got quite a lot of bat onto it. 4 runs. Not the best way to start the day, but nevertheless. Here's Muralidharan. Cullinan drives and beautifully taken by the bowler himself. Oh, what a catch that one. And Cullinan out without adding to his overnight score. Being Muralidharan's first over on the 3rd day. Since making his maiden half century last evening, 105 runs added for the 3rd wicket in 175 minutes. Muralidharan, excellent recovery since delivery, and he was going in the opposite direction with the follow through. Recovered very well. Absolute beauty. New batsman is Jonty Rhodes. Made his top score in the last innings. Cronier, beautiful shot through mid-wicket this time, and he was very good in making that particular stroke throughout his innings. Over pitching, playing it with the spin, taking it well away from off stump. He was in very good control right through. Rolitharan. And Rhodes coming out of his crease. Chase on for Hatrusingha. The 300 coming up in the 121st over in 497 minutes of batting. South Africa not in a hurry for runs. Cronier once again making a bold strike, cleared the infield, very safe shot, using his reach to get to the pitch of that ball. Rhodes batting up and Cronier calling for the run. This is close. The throw comes in and Rhodes is out. That was important, and Rhodes could consider himself unlucky. I thought he didn't want the run at first, but saw Cronier calling for the run. Then he had to respond. He's generally quick among the wickets, but not on this occasion. He played it to one of the safest fielders in the Sri Lankan team, and he's a quick one too. Not the quickest. Very good return. And Muralidharan finishing it off. Cullinan well down the track. He realized the danger subsequently midway through. But Rhodes always in trouble since he had a late start. Brian Macmillan. His first test innings against the Sri Lankan. Sri Lanka taking 2 quick wickets, and that was important. Bowled him. That came a long way, and more than one batsman have been dismissed in that fashion before to this same bowler. Macmillan out first ball. Tom Moody of Australia, Anil Kumble of India, both were out, not offering a stroke in almost similar fashions. And now Macmillan. Muralidharan flighting that ball, came across, didn't offer a stroke, and then realized his mistake. Too late. The all-rounder not offering a stroke would be very embarrassed. David Richardson, the new batsman, has not had the same success in front of the wickets as he did behind. Vikram Singh dropping it short, and very well played by Richardson. And Aravinda De Silva got a boot to it. Not good enough to save the boundary. Confident way to get off the mark. In control as he played it between slip and gully. Cronier taking strike. Thompson bowls, and he may have got a touch to that one. Judging by the reaction of the bowler on his test debut, he's been trying very hard, committing the batsman to the stroke. He did get a touch, and really that one should have been taken. Dasanaika and Dharamsena, clubmates. Again, another good delivery. Dharamsena very dejected. That one did turn into the batsman. Here's Muralidharan. Richardson plays it right into the hands of Sanat Jayasuriya, and yet another wicket, out for 11, and that 26-run partnership coming in 58 minutes, and at this stage South Africa had lost 4 wickets for the addition of only 49 runs in just 23 overs. Muralidharan bowling unchanged from the pavilion end, flighting that ball. It did turn in, and as it lunged forward, Richardson off the pad onto the bat and straight into the hands of Sanat Jayasuriya. So Muralidharan involved in all 4 dismissals. He has now taken 4 wickets. Twice before the same venue he had taken 4 wickets in test innings. Pat Simcox also able to strike out boldly. Muralidharan beats Simcox and beats the wicketkeeper too. Mahanama unable to cut it off. That was 4 byes. That ball did turn a long way, and that's how he is. Vikram Singh straying outside the off stump, but that was very well struck by Cronje. Used his long reach to very good effect, and although he played it away from his body, he middled it. Not easy to play that stroke unless you are in perfect control, as he was on that occasion, Cronje. 69 runs coming in 29 overs in the first session. This was at lunch, but 30 extras expensive. Cronje approaching a well-deserved century, but his partner couldn't add to his overnight total, Cullinan. More people were coming in after those early strikes. Certainly not an encouraging crowd. Muralidharan beats Cronje, tries to play one of his favourite strokes. Well flighted again, outside off stump. That may have had him bowled. And once again an untidy Dasanayake behind the wickets. Cronje does connect on this occasion. Dharmasena fields, and that's his century. A fine knock from him, his second test century after he made his first against India. And this particular 100 at the SSC, quite a good one for Hansi Cronje. Batted extremely well, coming up in 355 minutes of batting. Oh, well struck. Muralidharan overpitching, and Simcox really loves overpitch deliveries, and he's a very good striker of the ball. Moves up to 6 with that. The 350 of the innings coming up in 596 minutes of batting. Jayasuriya straying down leg side. With that boundary, Simcox moved into double figures. This is an important partnership between these two batsmen when South Africa were in danger of having a middle order collapse. And the 50 partnership coming up in only 58 minutes of batting. Muralidharan over-pitching, and Simcox going for the lofted drive, perfectly safe, well placed, wide of Ramanayake. Once again a good strike, and Muralidharan visibly annoyed. Couple of meters this way could have been a catch to Ramanayake. Well played, paddled it around with the spin. That could be the 400 as Aravinda De Silva picks up. 400 taking 653 minutes of batting. Quite a commanding lead at this stage. 232 runs on. Aravinda De Silva. Bowled him! Look for the turn. It wasn't there. It wasn't too far up either. Played the wrong line, and that was the mistake. But a fine knock coming to an end. Not his highest score, but certainly a very important one. And that 68-run partnership for the 7th wicket coming in only 86 minutes of batting. Cronje surprised Aravinda with that dismissal. The new batsman, Richard Snell. Will he have the same fortunes or otherwise? As Macmillan, he was one of the two changers. But not so. Going over the infield. Ball strike there from Richard Snell. And with his first boundary, he moved up to double figures. Muralidharan. That was a pretty loose delivery. And Pramod Vikramasinghe making a desperate attempt there. It was in the air, certainly. Full toss. Just short of Pramod Vikramasinghe. The third new ball taken, with a total at 426 after 167 overs. It's certainly a tired Pramod Vikramasinghe at this stage. Edges it between the slips. No one there at third man. 4 runs. And these two batsmen were in a terrific tussle to be ahead of each other, matching almost from one stroke to the other. And Simcox was well ahead when Snell came in. In fact, he got 17 runs when Snell walked in. And once again pulled around. This was in the first over. 2 boundaries coming up. With the new ball, it's Ramanayaka. Simcox striking very firmly indeed, back down the pitch. Very, very effective strike there. 4 runs. 450 coming up for the South Africans. What a way to get it. Vikramasinghe. No ball called. Effectively worked down to third man. Intentionally played. And the runs were coming at a very brisk pace at this stage. South Africa really quickening the pace. Well struck. This is very good batting. Manama gives chase, makes a good stop. Took a lot of effort for him to reach that ball. He never gave up. And a fine return too. So good all-round display by Roshan Mahanama. Simcox going over fine legs. The first 6 of the innings. Fine stroke to get to his first half century in Test cricket, and he beats Snell. Both of them playing in their second Test match. What a way. Batted extremely well. 1 6 and 5 fours. Improved on the 48 he made at the Tyrone Fernando Stadium. Goes for the reverse sweep and he's gone. That was immediately after making the half century in the very next delivery. Quite an adventurous stroke, but didn't work on that occasion for him. But he wouldn't mind it. Really made up with two important partnerships. First with Cronje and then 79 runs with Richard Snell, coming in double quick time. And he has done his part. Stretching out, and that made the difference. Stretched out far too much. Alan Donald, the new batsman in South Africa, not making the declaration, probably looking for a total of 500. Snell drives, very firmly struck, 4 runs, not afraid to hit the ball whenever it's up to him. Ranatunga very much concerned. South African tailenders showing determination. Down the track, he's gone, just 2 runs away from a well-deserved half century. That would have been his first in Test cricket. He didn't have to play that stroke, but there it is. And his runs coming from only 64 balls with the help of 8 boundaries, and all of them very well struck. But this particular stroke was not the best. Presenting Pubudu Dasanayake with the second stump and Aravinda De Silva with his second wicket. In fact, his third. Aravinda De Silva goes to Scholes, goes over the top. 4 runs. Good way to get off the mark against the Sri Lankans in Test cricket. De Silva wouldn't mind. He has 3 wickets against his name. Muralidharan looking for 5 wickets. Down the track, he's gone. So the last 3 batsmen of the South African innings, in fact the last 3 wickets to fall, all out stumped. Donald not out in the end, and 495 all out in 750 minutes of batting. Came down the track, the ball spun away from him, and Pubudu Dasanayake's 4th victim. In the end it was a good match for him, but he had reached an equal number. This total improved on the 390 South Africa made against India, but falling short of the 622 against Australia at Durban way back in 1970. But certainly a very big total. Cronje played extremely well at the first 4 batsmen getting past 50. In fact, 4 others other than Cronje got past the halfway mark. But that very important partnership between Snell and Simcox really brought the innings, and 42 extras adding to the South African total. That really made a big difference. And in the bowling, 8 bowlers tried by the Sri Lankan captain, including himself. Muralidharan's test best figures, improving on the 5 for 104 in the last test match. But 3 important wickets for Aravinda De Silva. The others not impressing. Wickramasinghe and Muralidharan, 100 runs off them. Kumar Dharmasena's vain effort to take a wicket. He bowled extremely well. And when the Sri Lankan openers came out, their task was to say, and here's Roshan Mahanama, much expected of him at a very crucial stage. They must be quite tired. Here's Scholes. Loud appeal, but Mahanama played forward. But that's what it is. They would be really striving for the breakthrough. Covered it up, and he generally angles it away from the right-hander. Chantika Hatrusinghe also needs a big score, but he has really struggled against the South African fast bowlers, apart from the half century he made in the first one-day international. Schulz. Oh, he bowled him. That would have come off the bat. And what a big breakthrough for the South Africans. Schulz is excited. He has reason to be so. Top wicket taker in the first innings, getting the breakthrough. His first delivery in this match was a dropped chance by Chandika Hathurusingha, but Mahanama out without scoring. That was an important breakthrough. The ball was missing off stump, but Mahanama got a bat to it. He may have tried to open the face of the bat, but remember there were 4 slips. Not the best stroke that he should have played against the left armour. Hashan Tilakaratne coming in. This is an awkward position for him to be at the wicket. Oh, that one came in, comfortably taken by Hansi Cronje, and Chandika Hathurusingha falls to Donald. And if you look at his records, the 4th time in as many test innings he's been dismissed, but in 8 international meetings with the South Africans, Hathurusingha has been out to Donald on 7 occasions. The only time he didn't was up at Askeria in the first one-day international. That ball came very quickly, and very comfortable catch to Hansi Cronje. Donald was bowling very fast and hostile at this stage. It was an awkward delivery. He is committed to the stroke. Then had he slashed, it may have gone over, but he didn't. So he had to leave. 2 wickets down, both openers failing to score. Aravind De Silva signals his presence with a flowing off drive. Over-pitch delivery that reached the boundary without much trouble. Any chances of a Sri Lankan fight back, field rest on this man? Here's Donald. But neatly turned off. That was well played. Very well timed and placed. It was the second boundary taking him onto double figures. For Sri Lanka in desperate trouble. Snell. Oh, that one climbs very hard. An appeal for a catch behind given out by umpire Samarasinghe. And Hashan Tilakaratne may have fallen onto the wicket. He didn't. He was on his back when Richardson took the catch. And Tilakaratne seems not very happy. But that ball really deserved a wicket. It was a very awkward delivery indeed. Snell banging it on. That ball really climbed in line with the stumps. And not quite clear whether he really did manage to get a bat or glove to it. We'll take a better look here. It seemed to have taken the sweatband. Certainly Tilakaratne had left the ground, but if there was any doubt in the mind of the umpire, it should have gone to the batsman. It didn't, so he didn't have any doubt. Champak Ramanayaka, the night watchman. The fielders crowding in. Wrapped on the pad, and umpire Aldridge rules the batsman out. And this is an important breakthrough. If the South Africans were looking for a wicket or two, well, they've got 4 now. And Sri Lanka in deep trouble at 4 for 31. It has been a disappointing match for him. And the third batsman out without scoring in the Sri Lankan second innings. Arjun Ranatunga had no option. He had to come in on his home grounds. The last of the recognized batsmen of the Sri Lankans. A long haul, 327 runs behind on the first innings. Oh, well struck. The first delivery he faced through the covers. Remember, he was off the mark with a flowing boundary to mid-wicket in the first innings of the first delivery. That's Simcox introduced into the attack for the last over. Dropping it short, and Ranatunga is very strong in that area. Quite a loose delivery. Right back on it and punched it, he middled it. No question of placing. Most of the fielders were well up, and he made one other boundary in that over to get into double figures. And apart from Aravinda De Silva, who looked very solid, none of the other batsmen were comfortable, but Hashan Tilakaratne in particular was very unlucky. Quite an unimpressive scorecard for the Sri Lankan second innings. And in the bowling, the first four bowlers taking the wickets. Simcox quite an impressive, not an impressive first over, but Donald and Schulz were very hostile indeed. Ideal test match temperament and some resourceful batting had taken South Africa into a commanding first innings lead. When the Sri Lankan openers did finally emerge for the second time, the quick and fiery South African opening bowlers were not in a compromising mood. They priced out the openers, took 2 more wickets, and added further misery to the Sri Lankans. And if they could take this match into the 5th day, then Sri Lanka would have done well. But as it is, the chances of a historic South African win in this test match is very much alive. We hope you enjoy the highlights, and mind you, tomorrow is the rest day. Join us again on the 4th day for more highlights. Good night. Over the infield, not as well as he may have liked. Nevertheless, 2 runs. Wicket are moving on to 6 with that. Sri Lanka passed the lowest test total they have made. They're dropping it short, and Vikram Singh going for a very big hit. That cleared the ground over the boundary at mid-wicket. The crowd just loves it. Some rearguard action, some steal, coming in a bit too late. They're trying to dig it in. Vikram Singh had already moved, so enough room to go through with the shot. Well played. He gets into double figures, doubles his score in fact. Again, another fine stroke. 2 players were there, but that ball well over Donald's head into the crowd. That would have been 6 in many test venues. No, Vikram Singh returning in kind to Snell. Very well played, connected it well, and it was a big shot. Went a long way. He had already taken a step back, then from the ball short. Oh, well struck. Interested to see whether it would reach the boundary. Oh no! Who was that? That's Cronje. Well, he came a long way. South Africa really on it. The 100 coming up in 195 minutes of batting. It was well played. There was no mid-on. Shields was going on the wicket. But this man was supposed to be having back problems before this match. What a slide, but he had done the needful. Snell. Vikram Singh goes for the big hit. Oh, Donald is there. He is delighted. And that's his second catch. Pramodia, a bit too adventurous. No harm in doing so. But a fairly good breakthrough for Snell, having the revenge on Vikram Singh. Entertaining knock. 2 sixes. Some consolation. 2 people were placed there just for that shot. And a good catch by Donald. The crowd may have answered Donald as he returned the compliment. Pretty calm faces there in the Sri Lankan dressing room. Schulz. No ball called, but the Sri Lankan number 11 playing an adventurous stroke. That was well played in the end. All along the ground. What a way to get off the mark. Attempted yorker by Schulz. Muralidharan had moved to leg stump and then found the ball pitched up to him, and he made it a half volley. Again, this time square on the offside, all along the ground. That's his second boundary. Not a bad stroke in the end, but he made sure that ball was well away from his body. The field was up, but the ball was into the gap. Again, very well played. Making room on the offside. But Rhodes would never give up. Schulz, full toss. That was well played by Dasanayaka. He gets into double figures with his second boundary. A matter of time at this stage. Sentiments, they need to be there in the third test match. Timed it well. Played it away from any of the fielders. So Snell. Not willing to be intimidated, Prabhuda Dasanayaka. Even at this late stage, South African bowlers really testing the batsman. Oh, he got a touch and he's gone. Richardson wrapping it up. 4 victims for him. What a match this was. A historic test win for South Africa, and that would avenge their defeat in the first ever meeting between the two countries in a limited over international at the World Cup. And the Sri Lankans graceful in defeat. Nevertheless, look at this. Edged it in front of the keeper and to his side, but he was there in the nick of time. If you don't miss too many catches, that would have been an object lesson for the wicketkeeper himself. Aravind, the top scorer in the innings, the second highest score to Pramodia, his highest in Test cricket. 3 of the first 4 batsmen were dismissed without scoring. and only Dharamsena did not get into double figures of the batsmen out today. The last 2 wickets adding 43 runs for Sri Lanka. Richardson 4 victims in an innings for the 3rd time in the series and twice here, and this victory coming for South Africa 20 years after they last beat England in 1965 at Trent Bridge. That was their last away victory, and what a win it has been. Quite a big one for the South Africans. And in the bowling, Donald 2 wickets was economical, and that was after Schulz, who had 4 wickets, the top wicket taker for the 2nd time in the match, but missed out on 10 wickets. Macmillan had the night watchman out, but Snell produced the best delivery of the innings, considered 2 hits over the ropes, but completed 5 for the match with his 3 wickets. Simcox hardly bowled in this match. The awards presentation with Chris McAdish, President of the United Cricket Board of South Africa. Best batsman, Hansi Cronje, 2nd Test 100, and the top score of the match. The 2nd batsman in the series to get 100 against the Sri Lankans. Really played well, held the innings together, the South African vice-captain. The best bowler, Muthaiya Muralidharan. 2nd time in the series, he got 5 wickets. First time at the SSC. He also fielded well. But this man made a difference. Man of the match, Brett Schulz. First 5-wicket haul in the first innings, followed it up with 4 more. And playing in only his 4th Test match, he really made a big difference. The first ball of his in this Test match was a drop chance, but what a reverse of fortunes for him. But Kepler Wessels leading South Africa to a historic first Test win over Sri Lanka, and himself missing out on a well-deserved century in the first innings. Led the side well.